All right, welcome to ResoBiz. This week's episode is, I don't know what else to say except I'm just going to geek out over a Meredith. Meredith was probably my first introduction to deeper body, the new generation of Dobros, and I got a hold of a special one. So here we go. Hi, I'm Byrl with Byrl Guitars, and this is ResoBiz, where everything is greater with the resonator.
Oh man, I'm still geeking out about it.
I have a very special, to me, I don't know if you follow Meredith or not, Meredith Guitars. He's one of the first deep body guitars that I ever had ever heard of at the time. As far as deep body could be in compared to a Dobro, what have I got? Regal, things like that. Then when I say I got, that's what I started with. One of the first ones I ever seen was on Troy Brennemeyer's site, and he got his first Meredith, which was a mahogany. And the difference in the sound of that guitar versus what he was playing, which I can't remember what it was, what he was playing before was so huge that I thought, man. Well, then I started finding out there was a different way that they were built and all sorts of stuff. And then I found Shearhorn and Beard and Schoonover and a few others. And but the other thing was that there wasn't a whole lot of builders out there building these guitars like this. But Meredith was my first introduction to that. And then Troy Brennemeyer played one of those. And so I had a big interest. I'd really studied Meredith's guitars quite a bit. So they were a big inspiration to me getting into this guitar building business. And so I got a customer, and I wish I knew what I was getting into when he brought it to me. He brought me 3 guitars. He brought me he just wants a fresh setup on them. They haven't been done, haven't had a fresh setup. Some of the strings were really old too. So he wanted a fresh setup put on these guitars, and 2 of them were Meredith. One of them was a signature model Beard. I forget what whose was, but anyhow, so I got the first Meredith out and I played it, and I wish I'd have videoed it, honestly, especially since and it was like 100 and something, number 100 and something rather. And I've studied Meredith's, and I've watched, kind of how he builds the inside of them and different things he does. And I kind of know a little bit, like older days, certain way he structured things, and then or earlier days, and then later days he changed around a little bit. And so his first one, I kind of was like, well, this is interesting, and I was looking at different things, and then I seen this one, and this one kind of confused me. This round shape on here, the head is different. And so it was kind of cool. The first one I played it, and they're both spruce and rosewood, which is interesting. But I played it and I just laughed. And of course, I don't mean to laugh at my customers, but I told him, I said no. He goes, what do you think? I said, I think that no Meredith has ever sounded this bad. And the point was, it's not that he built it bad. It's just that it needed a setup of everything freshened up so bad. It was just horrible. And when I got done with it, it was such a beautiful big sound. So then of course he's wanting to change this one too. But we look in there, you can't see what year it is, like what year or how old, or there's no label. And I thought, well, maybe the label, because I know it's a sticker, maybe it fell out or something. So I got into this, and I didn't play it. I already cut the strings off of it. And I'm half tempted, honestly, I might just do it. Put some strings back on it, just so we can hear it without, new strings are always going to sound a little bit better. But here it was fresh strings, but everything old setup, and just see what it sounds like. And then do freshen everything up, and put nice setup on it, put another set of strings on it, and go hear what it sounds like after that. I might still do that. But anyhow, they had the old strings on it. I cut it off. I got into it. I lifted the cover plate. I looked inside, and I put the cover plate deck down. and I don't even know if I want to tell you what I saw. It's exciting to me. Nothing scary, right? There's no rodents in it. But I found out something about the guitar that made it special. So anyhow, we'll stop the story there, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and put strings on it. I decided I'm going to do that. Put the strings on it, and we'll hear it. I'll open it up, and I'll show you what I found, so you can hear the rest of the story in just a minute. So let me go ahead. All right, here it is. And I got strings on it. It's a little, I might see if, I don't know, we'll see if I can fix that. This is it's dull because it's been lightly sandblasted, but this is corrosion and stuff. I might try to clean that up. We got the holes that are not normal. A little bit of light in there. Can you tell that there's no sticker? So don't know really what year it is. And here's the odd head. I mean, people who know Meredith may know, say, "Oh, that's normal." I was never seen one like this. Tuners clear out to close to the end. Fairly wide fretboard. 2 1/8, real wide fretboard. And I don't know if I'll measure the strings later to see if they're different too. But there it is, and here's what it sounds like. No, it's not bad. I mean, actually, it sounds. I got new strings on it, so it doesn't sound as bad as the other one did. But that's kind of dead. That one's ringing out good. That's dead. Nice. You can hear the bass it's got. I mean, it's got more to give, but hopefully that'll carry over. And I'm using one hand, so I can't bar it. But anyhow, we'll see. Let me get this thing taken apart. You can see what's on the inside, and we'll go from there. All right, so I have it loose. We'll take it up, and you know, I've built up the story, right? Here we go with the rest of the story. So there's the cover plate, and this is interesting to me, unless it was set up later. This is something that I'll bring back up in a minute. And then we have our whatever you want to call it. What is this? Our wire for our pickup. All right, so I'm taking this off. Do you see it? See, Byrl, that's what you're excited about. Just that right there. It's number 12. Number 12. I don't know how many he built, but this is number 12. There's some, and it has, yeah, number 12 written right there also. This is number 12. So this is the 12th one that Meredith made. I think that's amazing. So I took it off, and I saw so many different things. That's interesting too. Took it off as soon as I seen it, I put it back down, and I looked over my customer who was standing right here, but he's not there now because he's left it with me to finish it up. But I go, "Do you know what number this is?" He goes, I guess it's number 100 and something. And I was like, no, I know what number it is. And so I brought him over to the guitar, and I lifted it up, and I showed him. I go, "It's number 12. 12. You say, "Why are you so excited?" Because there's so much. He built 200 and something at least. I don't know how many he built. I'm pretty sure I seen something 200. I don't know. I know I've got 100 and something rather. I ought to know, but I don't remember. But he's built a whole bunch of them. This is the beginning. There's a lot to learn right here. He's built 12 guitars, and one thing I'll tell you, I already started to tell you, is here's those. He always had these butterscotch colored saddles. What's the name of that stuff? Anyhow, I can't remember. He had this composite that he was using, and I mean, he's getting a good sound. In fact, I was looking for it and couldn't quite find the same thing before I found my clear tone saddle material that I like. But here's number 12, and he's already using those. he was learning stuff like this. That's impressive to me. Number 12, he's got a lot going on. There's a lot to learn about his procedures and stuff. The other thing I noticed, and I'll show you here also, is he's got reverse kerfing in it. Now, some people think, well, what's the big deal about that? I can see with his glue, he was learning some stuff. I also wonder if it's, I don't know. It's dried, kind of shiny and clear. Almost looks like it might be fish hide or fish glue, hide glue or something. I don't know. It looks different. But it's just interesting to see the progression. And, you know, you get into number 100 or whatever, and you look inside his guitar, and it's clean. It is impressive. I've always been very impressed when I see some of his guitars or the inside of them. But I can just see how he was learning, how he progressed. But this reverse curving, that's pretty cool. I don't know if he bought it. I almost guess it's bought, like he bought it from somewhere. That's what I'd like to talk to him about. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that the last Dobra that I took apart, he did not have that. He had more like a Martin style, and I learned later that, well, actually, I got the idea from looking at one of his guitars peeking through the hole when I was first starting, and so I did switch to that. And then I learned later, I was taking classes with a master luthier, Tom Byrl. He builds regular guitars, but that was one of the things that improved his guitars. And then he switched to something else, which I'm messing with right now. But that was one of the steps into a better sounding guitar, is that reverse kerfing. You wouldn't think it'd make a difference, but when you really think about it and the idea of the way it transfers vibration, it actually does. And so it was interesting to see a lot of the stuff that he was already doing at a younger, just 12 guitars. He had a lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of good stuff. I really love seeing this. It's really neat. Lots of things to learn. But he was doing, in my opinion, very well by number 12. He improved a lot. You can see that in its later guitars, but so thrilled to have number 12 to be messing with it. That's just awesome. Like, I'm all excited about him, like he's an old builder. The interesting thing is that we're the same age. I got out of building cars in about the same time, within a year and a half, 2 years maybe, the time that he got out of building the guitars to build guns. So he went out of building guitars to build guns. I went out of building cars to build Dobros. But he was a big inspiration to me. In fact, it was a Meredith that I wanted. And you know, I had a nice guitar, but I bought it before I was married and had kids, and I wasn't just getting my start, but you know, my oldest was, I'm trying to think, 10 maybe. Maybe not. No, I don't even think he was that old. Anyhow, when I started, he was pretty young. So I was fresh start with kids and everything. I didn't have all my kids. I had 3 of my 4, but I couldn't afford it. So it hit me one day, well, if I build these cars and people bring cars to me in a basket, I've never even seen them put together, why can't I if I can do the restoration and hot rod paint and all that stuff on them, why couldn't I build a guitar? So I figured out one day while I was sick, I spent a morning on YouTube looking at the things that I thought would be super hard to figure out how to make, like bending the sides. And once I figured out, I made a list of the things that I couldn't even imagine doing. And once I figured out on YouTube how to do it, I thought, hey. And so I kind of chucked the idea of buying one, figuring out where to get the money to buy one, and I built it. And then by the third one, I was selling them. And then eventually I sold enough, and I got a Meredith in the end. That's what I started out wanting. So I've got one, but I'm still, you say you play that one all the time? No, I'm partial to my Byrl guitars. So I'm real thrilled with what I'm building. So I know I definitely play mine. That church wood I've got, oh my. Well, anyhow, the interest, I guess, that I have for these is because it was him that really inspired. It was his guitar, it's his sound that I would compare mine to as I was building. And there was a certain tone in the bass end that I was chasing, and really chased it. And so I like the growly, meaty sound of the bass, and definitely the mid on my guitars. But he's got a wonderful guitar, and it's just neat to see the history. So it makes me kind of a Meredith geek, and I know there's others out there that love Meredith, so this video might be fun for them. All right, if you've made it this far in the video, you must like dobros, because there wasn't, I don't know how much to actually learn about playing your dobro or anything like that, but it was just a little bit of a history. And if you know Meredith's, probably was interesting to you. If you don't know Meredith's, might not have been. I don't know why you watched till the end, but thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next week's part 2, where I really do the overhaul on it, and we'll hear it what it sounds like after it's been set up, and having not been set up for a while. We'll get all the tone we can out of it. Thank you for watching. See you next week.